Go.
There are many issues in this world that should be immediately addressed. One of the biggest ones is child abuse. Child abuse is physical or mental harm to a child, normally from their guardians. Child abuse affects children in many ways. 3 major effects of child abuse are that the child's confidence will be lowered, depression, suicide, and it can lead to abuse even when they are adults. I believe child abuse should be completely stopped. Our first reason for child abuse to be stopped is the lowering of self-esteem. Knowing that even the people that made you hurt you physically and mentally will for sure ruin your confidence. Having parents is like having a backup plan. Even if your friends are mean to you, you will always have your parents. Not if you're being abused by them. According to Julie on the site Havaka, she was yelled and screamed at by her parents, calling her fat and ugly. She was also sexually abused. If someone is called fat and ugly, then they will have negative thoughts on themselves, and this would lower their self-esteem. Another example on the site Havaka is from a woman named Anne. Both of her parents had passed away, and she was verbally abused during the time they were alive. I am an older woman, and I still struggle with feelings of low self-esteem. This just shows that even at an older age, she is still experiencing low self-esteem. This example is a hint at the next reason child abuse should be stopped.
The next reason to stop child abuse is because of the chances of it happening again later in life. People who are abused as a child are more likely to be abused as an adult. They might think it is okay for them to be abused because they grew up with abuse as kids. According to the Office of National Statistics, more than 51% of kids get abused as a kid get abused as an adult too. When a kid thinks it is okay to be abused, we need to make a stop to this.
Our last reason to stop child abuse is because it can affect the children mentally and cause after time they feel ignored or forgotten. Some parents take their parenting skills too serious. They end up abusing their child, which can scar them mentally and lead again to depression or suicide. Early stress makes the brain less resilient to the effect of later stress. We suspect that the reductions we saw are a consequence of maltreatment and a risk factor for developing PTSD following exposure to further traumas, the authors write. This means that child maltreatment can set the stress system permanently on PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, triggers that can bring back memories of the trauma, accompanied by intense emotional and physical reactions. 4 million children evaluated for child abuse or neglect in the U.S. every year, a problem that caused the U.S. with nearly 4 million children evaluated for child abuse or neglect in the U.S. every year, a problem that caused the U.S. 124 billion in lost productivity and health, child welfare, and criminal justice costs. Child maltreatment isn't something we can afford to ignore. Even among the most resilient survivors, the after effects of abuse may linger. Not only are such children at greater risk for mental illnesses, but because of the way trauma affects the stress system, they are also more vulnerable to develop chronic diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, heart attack, and stroke.
Some parents might say that they want to teach their kids a lesson or make them tough, but being abused does way worse things and put multiple problems on a kid. There is no reason to abuse a child or any due to the effects of abuse does to a person. You should never abuse a child no matter what. Once again, abuse lowers the child's confidence/self-esteem, leads to depression and suicide. And they have a chance of being abused when they're older too. For all of those reasons, nobody should abuse a child, and we should put an end to this.
I popped into someone's video?
Yeah.
I don't even remember doing it. Oh well.
Because the chance
Stop!
Honestly. Oh my god.
on Tex-Mex. Camera.
I don't remember this.
Okay, look at the camera every once in a while, okay?